Hey everyone, welcome to the Sandlord season. And as always, I'm gonna go over the void chart that I used to level with, start my season with, and currently I still jump to help sustain my beacons. A lot of people keep asking me, how do you sustain beacons in this game? Can you sustain beacons in this game? Everybody I ask says you can't sustain beacons in this game. Well, I always sustain beacons in this game. Maybe my definition of sustaining is a little different than everyone else's, but the point is I don't usually buy beacons, especially time mark 8 beacons or 7s. Maybe I buy deep space at the end of the season, but normally I am self-sustaining my beacons, and I'm going to show you how I do that every season. I always use a very similar version of this. Last season I was using Nightmare instead of War, but they kind of hurt Nightmare a little bit, so we updated it for this season. So we're going to dive into that, and we're going to show you what we're working with. Right away, as I mentioned, we are using War, hitting 15 points. This will carry you through the early games, early 7s, early 8s even. The point is, it speeds you up, makes you run faster, gives you damage and area boosts, attack speed boosts, cast speed boosts, all sorts of boosts that will help carry you. I used to use Nightmare and the Conduit for this. They did nerf the frequency of the lightning and the Conduit, and you don't get it all the time. You do get it most of the time, but not all the time, and it's because of its inconsistencies. I went with War this season, and it's a good substitution, we'll say. So there's our War, and that's why we use it. Over here is the beacon farm. This season they did adjust the beacon's drop rates a little bit, it feels like, and luckily we can, because of this, is a good thing. Luckily we can get away with only using 8 to 16 points. Normally we have to do a little bit more. It used to be 20, 24, but now we're down to 8, 16. The main 8s you're looking for, in my opinion, is this little corner here. You get the chance to upgrade them and the chance to replicate them. This is probably your best thing, especially if you're not looking to invest in compasses to force the drops, and you're just looking to passively sustain. You can get away with just these 8 points, in my opinion, from what I've seen. My current strategy that I'm using is a boss killing strategy, so we are going to the boss killing section. Also, it is an early league starting strategy and budget strategy, so we're not compassing. So getting this is a big deal since we're not compassing. So those are the 16 points that I like to use in the beacon tree. Doubling down on our boss killing strategy, as you can see, we go into the cube tree. The cube early on is not the best, not the worst, and I'll tell you why. Early on, you do need any kind of slates you can get. Feeder slates, budget slates, any slate is better than no slate. And then you need to brand these slates. Any brand is better than no brand. So you're going to need these wedges to brand them and upgrade them, flip them, rotate them, and, you know, pop, drop, and lock them into place. Whatever you need to do. Early on, these things have some value. Because they have value for you, they probably have value for other people. So if you don't want to use them, you can sell them, make some profit along the way. But that's why we use cube. We load it up with monsters, because that's our main objective, at least for me, was trying to get as much experience as I could, as well as, you know, some sustainability and some beacons. Since we are in the cube and we are going to be running it a lot, we might as well grab this. Maybe we get lucky and we get a corner card to show up. We get lucky again and a corner actually drops. And then we get lucky a third time and it's actually a good corner. But as ridiculous as that sounds, it does happen. And ignoring it and not choosing this, it won't happen. So you might as well put it in, hope you get lucky, because, you know, sometimes good things happen. So there's our cube section and why we use it. Over here is the Eterna section. This is a hot topic. A lot of people, either it's a love-hate relationship with Eterna. I'm on the love side, so I always run it. I don't mind getting my own keys. On the flip side, people will say keys are cheap. There's no point selling it. You can farm snowpaper fragments. You can farm this. You can farm this. And they're right. If you don't like Eterna the way I like Eterna, cut this out. Put in snowpaper fragments, put in Mistveil keys, put in whatever you enjoy doing personally for yourself or you think is a better selling object. Me, I like running Eterna. Me, I want to get into Eterna quickly. And me, I don't like buying keys. I don't like buying beacons. That's why I came up with this strategy. So here we are with our Eterna. We're going to force it in. And then the important thing you want here is the boss on this section down here. Now, you might not have as many points as me, and if you don't have as many points as me, you can cut these 4. These are kind of extra. And if you have more points than me, see, I have 1 here. I'm still getting more points. I don't have them all. If you have more points than me, you can go this way instead, cut this, and go up here. And you'll get upgraded keys and pages and stuff like that. I think this is great. I think City of Eterna is great. Getting in there early is great. Selling keys, maybe not the most, you know, profitable thing in the world, but it's not the least profitable thing. You'll still make money doing this. Most importantly, this is a cheap, effective time mark 7 strategy you can do, as well as a time mark 8 and even profound strategy you can do to sustain the beacons or farm deep space beacons. And I think it's really helpful, really great. Every once in a while, I'll show you what I do. I'll come in and I'll farm. I'll show you a farm while I'm doing it. But my beacons are all above 50s to 40s to 20s. When they start dipping down to the 10 range, well, I'm doing other farming strategies, like maybe I'm farming Clockwork, maybe I'm farming Trial of Machines or Trial of Might or Dark Surge. I'm doing some heavy, deep farming stuff. I'm not farming beacons when I do that, and my beacons will start dropping. Once they get to a low point, I'll switch back to this strategy and run it for like an hour or so, pick up a bunch of beacons, pick up a bunch of City of Eterna keys. Once I'm done or I get burnt out or bored of farming this, I'll switch over back. I'll jump into the Eterna. I'll use the keys that I farm, sell my profits, use my upgrades, all that goodness. Then I'll come back. I have all my I have my beacons all back up into the 50 range, 40 range. I'll go back to my bigger farming strategies to try and make some profit or some more bigger gear upgrades. Once I see my beacons going down again, we switch back to this and you see the rotation here. So it is part of my farming rotation, even though I use it as my league starting void chart usually. I do use it throughout the whole season to sustain my beacons. And a lot of people, like I said, they will continuously ask me, how do you sustain your beacons? Everyone says you can't sustain beacons. And this is how I do it. Now, is this not technically sustaining because I'm switching and I'm jumping around and I'm doing this? Maybe. It comes down to definitions. Everyone defines it differently. In my opinion, I'm sustaining. I don't need to buy maps, and that is sustaining in my point of view. If that's not in your point of view, well, sorry, then I guess this isn't for you. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully you guys will see the same potential and viability that I see in this strategy, and it'll help you smooth out your early progress and or late game beacon sustain. All right, everybody. Hopefully this landed. Hopefully it helps. As always, I will be streaming every day live on Twitch, so if you have any questions, be sure to jump over there and I'll get to you with a live customer service response, as opposed to YouTube. I do answer the comments, but they usually take me a day, maybe 2, to get to because I'm so busy streaming over on Twitch. All right, everybody. Hopefully this helps. Happy hunting, and I'll catch you in the next video.